up, guys?
What's going on, Wiser?
How's it going?
What's up? Hey, what's up, Wiser?
Can you guys hear these tunes? I hope you can.
I don't know.
I don't hear anything.
No.
I got it muted. Oh yeah, it's working. It's playing.
There we go. Yeah, so you're delayed if you're watching the stream. So, welcome to the first episode of Two Bees, One Hive. Honestly, we just kind of threw this together over the last couple of weeks, so just kind of seeing where it's going. You know, cut us a little bit of slack. Definitely the tools that I have, as you guys know, anyone who watches my videos, I'm pretty limited in what I have, so we're trying to make the best here. But let's just do some quick introductions here. We got, starting at my top left, Mr. Jake Redenbaugh. AKA Pitino, an elder in OneHive 2.0. This guy's been through the ranks. He's done all sections of all clans. How's it going, my friend?
Not bad at all, Wiser. Glad to be here with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then right up here in the middle is Mr. JParshall, AKA JP. In and out, long time 2.0 / Invicta member, one-time co-leader, the founder of the clan that you now know today as Power COC. How's it going, buddy?
Great, man. How you doing?
Good. And then on the top right, we got Mr. Dr. D in the house, my sort of partner in crime on YouTube, taking over my Invicta content and helping me out, obviously, when I'm sick, as we're going to find out on break here when I show you a recap of our Chromo War. How's it going, buddy?
Not too bad. How's it going, guys?
This is awesome. Love getting us all together here to just have this conversation. The plan here, guys, is we want to sort of have a bit of a structured show, just where we're going to have some topics of conversation. We don't want to oversaturate this, so we're looking at maybe twice a month. Kind of depends on the interest we get here. And
how many scandals are going on?
Exactly. I mean, you guys know as well as us, the drama in Clash of Clans is never ending. So there's always some fun stuff to talk about. And obviously with the CWL, at least every couple of weeks, there's definitely some things to be talked about. So that's kind of the timeline we're looking at here. Just real quick, we're going to try and do everything through OneHive Labs. If you have not subscribed, then I'm actually questioning how you even found this stream, which would be interesting. But please, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube OneHive Labs, go right ahead, because that's how you're going to get the notifications about all this stuff. Or obviously follow us on Twitter at OneHive Clan, or on personal Twitter at Wiser_OH. But with all that stuff out of the way, I do want to say, guys, we are going to also do a section of the show all the time where we're going to answer your questions if possible. So feel free to shoot questions off in chat. Some of the boys here are going to be monitoring the questions and picking up the best ones for us to answer at the end.
Chat's already getting live, man. There's
awesome.
Some funny stuff going back and forth.
Awesome. My tablet has gone screensavered right now. I haven't opened up the chat, but I will in a moment. I just wanted to get through this intro without dying. So anyhow, please ask your questions. Send them to our Twitter at OneHive Clan, or just send them in chat. We're going to answer some live questions at the end of the vodcast, I should say, as Jacko pointed out to us instantly. Gotta love Jacko. Jakov. So moving on here, obviously, main topic we want to get into is the CWL. There's definitely some hot news going on right now. As most of you probably know in chat, Cromwell was disqualified from the match against us, so we will definitely be talking about that a little bit later in the show. But what I kind of wanted to start off with was just sort of our journey as not only one but two clans into the first season of CWL. I know a lot of people had questions. First off, why weren't we in the CWL to begin with? Well, from the leadership standpoint, we were a
little bit weary of it. Let's be honest.
We were being cautious, and if for those of us who've been around a while, I mean, these sort of competitive things have the tendency to become very toxic very quickly. Can I expand that? No. So we were just being cautious, and we knew there was going to be an opportunity to potentially join in the next season, so we didn't want to rush it, and that was sort of the only reason. Obviously, with the way it blew up and the way it was being ran, and is pretty much overall, I would say, is being dealt very professionally. We decided to hop on board here, and definitely that's where the competitive war scene in Clash of Clans is going at this point in time. So I did want to hop over. I do have somewhere. I'm jumping over to the overall standings at the end of the season here for the mid-season CWL. This comes right off of their website. So I don't know if all you boys are looking at this now, but what are your guys' thoughts? I know Dr. D, obviously, looking at the 2.0 side, you're not going to have a lot to add, but you know, Pitt really and JP, how are you guys feeling, sort of at the beginning through the season and going on to the end?
Well, for me, it's kind of brought a new excitement to the game, because if you think about it, a lot of the wars, even the arranged wars, they really don't mean that much. I mean, you win or you lose, and you move on, and that win goes away, that loss goes away. So I was pretty stoked to get into this, where there's actually a running tally, there's standings and stats. So for me personally, this has been the most fun I've had clashing, actually having an end goal and having, you know, you're competing against these other teams every week matters tremendously going forward. So to me, it's been absolutely amazing.
No, I'm right there with you, man. I mean, you can't even count just how many arranged wars. I mean, at least once a week for a year and a half, 2 years, and now it just starts counting. It's a whole different feeling when you're in CWL. But that invokes emotions, you know. Both awesome, and it gets people a little bit crazy, you know, as we'll probably talk about here pretty soon with Crumble. Why is it going crazy with the controls over there?
Yeah, sorry, I just had to.
It's all good,
man.
A
couple things up now that you guys were chatting for a bit. Some things that. So, are you guys? Is everyone looking at the standings, the overall standings right now?
Oh yeah.
Because I did notice some trends when I was looking at this sheet. So let's just start with the Archer Conference. You know, you got a lot of good clans in there, but if you notice, for the most part, you got Cold September at 4-4, you got Barbarian Party at 4-4, and the CZX Knights at 4-4. Other than that, it was, you know, a landslide. Right, like you look at the top teams: Sweden Elite 7-1, Dark Looters 7-1, War and Glory 7-1, and Tactical Inc. 6-2. So it was pretty much it was a fairly, I felt like it was more, it should not a super, but a more lopsided conference than our conference. Because then when you look at ours, obviously the top being Crummel at 8-0, which we'll get into in a bit. Golden Goblins at 7-1.
No, JP, they were 9-0.
Yeah, they were. They were 9-0. Golden Goblin 7-1, Emphatically 6-2, and us squeaking in at 5-3. So you look though at the rest of the conference, right? Other than those four, they have Kronos still at 5-3, Pigeonism at 5-3, Fulman Morte at 4-4, WHF2 at 4-4. It just seemed like overall was just sort of a tighter conference, at least a better race for the playoff picture at the end, which was kind of nice, and we did come away with that. So what I wanted to do was I want to talk about sort of our season, because I think you guys can agree, you know, for 2.0 at least, the season was a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
We had our ups and downs. Now in Invicta, maybe just to give Dr. D a moment in the sun here, I was on the Invicta roster, but I kind of opted out because I would like to obviously focus on the 2.0 wars. But Invicta finished 4-1 in the light. Unfortunately, I don't think they made the playoffs. Dr. D, maybe you can kind of elaborate on Invicta season a little bit for us before we dive into the rest of mid-season.
Yeah, we had we had a pretty solid season in Invicta. Unfortunately, one loss. I think we lost by 1 star to UK Weekend Warriors, who wound up winning our division and going on to the playoffs. With a smaller with a smaller group in the CWL light divisions, it means that really you're talking about the top clan in each one of those divisions moving on. And so unfortunately, despite going 4-1, that one loss meant that we were not going to be able to move on. And unfortunately, the one loss was to the one clan that was 5-0, which means even if they were to lose in that last week, they held the tiebreaker. So, but it was still, it was pretty interesting. The CWL, whether it's light or mid-season or the first season, it did do something for Clash that nothing else has. The last time I think people got this excited was when they started potlucks, right? And then it was something that was very, very different and very new.
Yeah.
Something that was generated specifically by Supercell that got people really going. But I think it was a lot of fun.
You know what's crazy? I was just talking about this on the Rigoletto show.
We'll get to that.
Oh Jesus! How how CWL has made or broken clans, right? There's been a handful of clans that literally, because of the competitive nature of things, they folded because it's cutthroat now for recruiting. We felt it. I'm sure a lot of other clans have felt it that are sort of not like one of those top, like, a golden goblins. They're feeling it in the recruiting, and it's tough because there's guys that your top attackers generally are going to want to be in competition for the playoffs. So it does add a whole new aspect, good and bad, I think, but more good than bad, because to me, it makes this game awesome, because this is what the war community has wanted from the get-go.
Yeah, I agree. I was just going to say, I agree. I think that a lot of people are pulling into CWL clans, leaving still good clans that weren't in the CWL just to get to be a part of this thing. There's a comment here that I thought was interesting. James Neo says, "What do you think about a lot of clans merging to be more competitive in CWL?"
I was just about to bring that. I was about to bring that up if you didn't.
It's my answer to that. Obviously, being part of our recruiting process, is it's already happening. Like, clans, even though it might not even necessarily be folding, slowly but surely you see trickling out of certain clans and bolstering of other clans, and then it's slowly happening, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? I don't know what to say. Every person's gonna have their home. Yeah, it does suck. You don't want to see clans fold, but in the same token, I don't know. I feel the game, in the direction it was going before this existed, was getting very stagnant and to the point where really, Clash was dying severely.
Hey, Weiser, I think the people want to see the face cam.
Well, no, we're going to go through this real fast. Because we're going to talk about, I'll flip back. I just want to show this, and I'll flip back in between here. So our first week against Dark Avengers, we came out 84 stars, about an average star count, I would say, for us throughout the regular season. Dark Avengers, we had faced them not too long ago either, so we were pretty confident, I would say, going against them. I think we had a good war against them. What are your guys' thoughts?
No, definitely.
Yeah, there were some nerves, to be honest, going into that one. I remember there was excitement and nerves, and it's something we'd never done before. Like I mentioned, it's the first time where wars actually build on each other, and each result is very important going forward. So, yeah, definitely some nerves, but the excitement was top notch there.
We'll definitely talk about it here in a second, but I think that the first couple wars made us a little bit cocky about where we were in the game.
Why is my camera going blurry? There we go. And that, honestly, that week one was awesome. The energy overall, in the clan. I'm just gonna go back here. So week two we had Valor Morghulis, again an 84 star count for us, 81 for VM. That war I don't think we were too concerned about, but I feel that led to our demise in week three. I think we got a little over cocky after week two. I don't know what your guys' thoughts were, but
Absolutely.
we had a decent performance, but sorry. I don't know. It's hard to remember because that's like 7, 8 weeks ago, or 6, 7 weeks ago, right? So, but I feel like that led to our demise at one point.
Well, Weiser, I think it's also important to remember, like, I think that was the week that we also random spun Golden Goblins. And I don't know if, the audience has a, idea of what happened there, but we had a Town Hall disadvantage against the Golden Goblins in a random matchup. I think it was week 2. And we won. I mean, it was a squeaker. I mean, we barely made it. I think it was like percentage or maybe a star, but I think the first 2 wins coupled with that, I think that got us a little too cocky.
Well, and to be honest, we had never heard of Crummel when we got matched up with them. No one knew who Crummel was. So we took them for granted.
I had heard of Crummel, but
you may have heard of them, but we did not expect them to be 8-0.
I concur. However, let's go and hop back over right here and check out that next week versus Crummel. Crummel only put up 83 stars against us.
We had our worst performance, 79 stars.
79 stars. That's
pretty unacceptable.
Not what we wanted, obviously. That is super unacceptable, and that's what I'm saying. I feel we came off VM a little bit cocky, and Crummel made us pay, and it showed. So that was kind of a roller coaster because then we got slapped with the reality check there, and going into week 4, we picked up Emphatic Elite and only put up 82 stars. And lost on that heartbreaking percentage. So now all of a sudden we're 2-2.
That was kind of a bad war from both sides. I think just across the board, everyone was really struggling there.
Mm-hmm. But think of our mentality at that point as a clan. All of a sudden we're 2-2. We still have to beat Golden Goblins. So we know that's going to be a tough war. We know we got to face Pigeonism still. They were playing very well. It was looking scary for us. I mean, like I said, we still barely snuck in, but we did everything we had to do. Switching back one more time. So week 5 coming in, we ended up facing the 99 Death Balloons. Absolutely smoked them. We put up an 86-star victory on that one. Really proud of the guys on that war. What you guys have any thoughts about that war?
That was a fun recap you did with your little singing.
I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard that song before.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, of course. It's in a Euro Trip. Great movie.
Yeah, actually, it's the Goldfinger punk cover in Euro Trip. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's a great fucking song.
With Matt Damon.
Okay, so we end up going up 3-2. Going into week 6, we face Golden Goblins. Put up an 84-star effort. It was a good effort, I think, overall. I don't think we necessarily had like a bad war versus Golden Goblins, but they put up 88 stars.
What can you do? What can you do when someone triples an 11? And I think, if I remember right, they had a 96% on our other 11. So they were very close to an 89-star war.
So that was pretty crazy. Is what it is, though. So we ended up being 3-3. So week 7, we got Pigeonism. If we lost, we're out. We're now basically had to win our last 2 matches of the season. We come out against Pigeonism, and they put up 86 stars. And we come away with the win with 87 stars. Like, unbelievable performance from the guys. I think we had 3 10% trips in that war.
It was more than that. It was at least 4.
That was one of the most fun wars I've ever been a part of.
Nothing got people more pumped up than what's his face? Eclipse's stream that he was doing. That I mean, people were watching that live, and he was. I think it was like the war before that or something. It was like a random farm war, and they were showing off their own bases, and they're talking smack about how they're gonna like roll through the CWL, and we would like post screenshots in the comments and like in line chat, and people were getting fired up over it. It was awesome.
Did he rage quit his stream?
I don't remember.
Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know.
No. I think he was gracious about it. I think I tuned in at the very end. He was nice about it.
I remember. You guys remember the excitement of that? When we were 3-3, it was kind of odd because we had just lost to Golden Goblins, but then someone mentioned in chat that basically, how much more fun is this? That you basically have to win back-to-back wars to get in the playoffs. Like, what more would you want?
And see, this is why this league makes it that extra step of being awesome. But, you know, like it adds that sort of pride reward factor that was never there. I mean, there always was a piece of that, but actually having something on paper, like it's different. So after the win, we still had to beat Kronos, and I will say we put up 84 stars again, which was our average, I would say, throughout the mid-season CWL. We didn't think we would win with an 84-star victory. We thought at least 85 or 86 we needed to compete. So we weren't happy with 84 stars, but Kronos only put up 80 stars after talking some mad shit. Kronos
oh my god! Do you have the screenshots to put up and for
no? I don't. I have those screenshots. I don't have them loaded to show, but I mean, they talk some mad shit, and it bit them in the ass. I'm sorry.
This is the first podcast, so I mean, we got to kind of set the tone for how the rest of them will go. But I think if other people are kind of cool, I mean, you know, we don't have to sling mud. But if people are going to talk shit, like,
absolutely,
2Bs, one Hive.
They should be the first guys to admit that yeah, we talk shit and we fucked up. I'm not holding it against them. I've talked shit before and fucked up, and you look like an idiot. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. If you'd have told me going into that war, though, that we'd have scored 84 stars, I'd have told you we'd be eliminated from the playoffs. So a little bit fortunate there.
100%.
Speaking of being all talk, during the old Town Hall 9 tourney that we had against Cold September, I was just feeling lucky. We came out really hot and they were sucking, like at the very beginning of the war. So I tweeted out, like, I'll give $50 to whoever you want me to, or like their charity or something like that. And they come out and kick our ass. I'm like, damn it! Like, all right.
Sure did. They sure did. And then they released the recap for us.
Oh yeah,
we'll get to that.
We will get to that in a moment. So another thing to note about week 8. We not only had to beat Kronos, but Golden Goblins needed to beat Pigeonism. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
We knew it would happen, but, you know, the stars had to align to get us into the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much. But it happened. So we snuck in 5-3, man. I don't know. We shouldn't have lost. You know what? We shouldn't have lost to EE. We shouldn't have lost to Crummel because they only put up 82 stars. Right? Like, we had some poor performances that we can perform better, that I know we should win. But what I also find was interesting was if you look at the trends in the overall star counts for all the teams, you see some trends. And you'll see clans like us who put up an 84, a 79, an 86, an 83, an 84, I don't know. And then you'll see clans that were like 80, 82, 82, 86, 86, 87, 87, out of nowhere. I don't know, just saying. No implications made whatsoever, but it's numbers don't lie. You'll see consistencies, and it just is what it is. So I think we might be in a position that we might want to take a bit of a break. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we gotta take a pee break.
Jeez, Pat.
Okay, so we're gonna take a
peeing
break.
all night.
The 6-pack's going through me, bro.
but we're going to be back, and we are going to discuss the quarterfinal matchup versus Chromome a little more in detail. In between here, I'll probably take, I don't know, about a 15-minute break because I'm going to show actually Dr. D to recap for me. I was really sick on the weekend, and he helped me out and did the coverage. Because, again, this fucking bullshit about this 24-hour lifetime, like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But whatever. So Dr. D covered it. I'm going to show you guys the recap. It's not even live yet, so all the live viewers are going to get to kind of watch that while we're on break. And then we will come back and discuss
15
the rest of
minutes.
the show. Beautiful. Sounds good to me. We're going to play a little outro music here.
Wiser, you look like you had something you wanted to say first.
This is modding.
See, because you guys don't hear the music that I'm playing. That's the sad part.
Let's see.
I hear it.
All right.
Nice.
All right. So we're back. Now, the meat and potatoes of everything we've kind of been talking about this whole season obviously comes down to this quarterfinal matchup versus Chromome. JP and Pitt, what were your thoughts going into the week? I want to hear different perspectives from both of you. Obviously, with the roller coaster of a fucking ride we just went through for the whole midseason, now we're in the playoffs. Let's start with JP. What were your thoughts?
Well, making the playoffs was cool in the first place. So I know there was a lot of talk in chat. And by the way, they said to turn the volume down. They said the music's pretty loud. But in going into the war, we wanted revenge. You know, these guys kind of snuck up on us first time around. Like I said, I personally had never heard of these guys when we faced them in week 3. And like they mentioned earlier, we kind of were cocky. We kind of took things for granted. But we wanted revenge badly on this one, at least for me. We knew, you know, when you go 8-0 in a season, you're obviously doing something right, and you're obviously pretty incredible clan. So we knew we had to bring our A game, but we were pretty motivated going into it for sure.
I went into it with very unsuspecting eyes. I just assumed, based on the vetting that the admins had done from the CWL, that everything was going to be very, very square. Everything was going to be awesome. I think that I don't want to get too ahead here. If I am, just let me know. There was an attack. It was actually a scout attack by Town Hall 10 against TU, Team Unique, and this guy drops a loon at this perfect spot that picks off this fresh hit. Scout attack, Town Hall 10 drops a loon pretty much right on a Tesla. Like, how did you know it was there? And it was that moment that everything just started going downhill.
And let me elaborate on your point a little bit.
That's when Robos came in and was like, "Oh, I just noticed something about their roster." Like it was just too perfect. I'm not saying that was a modded attack.
Because it is a scout attack, and a good scout is
Right.
gonna check those things, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I mean, but although 100% that could have been completely legitimate, it's still in your head as someone watching the attacks and seeing the war unfold as it was. Send some sort of like, what the fuck signal to your head that just perks that radar that like something's sort of off. Whether that, like I said, like whether that was it or not, that's just something that makes you think a little bit deeper. And then
You know what got my attention?
Go ahead.
With what you're talking about? So, this blew my mind. So, Hoodrat, which is Salty McBalls, is an 88, I think 88 or 89K Town Hall 10. Basically a max Town Hall 10 with a couple things not upgraded.
He's a
They had
good
Town
one
Hall
too.
9.
He's
Yeah,
a good. He's not some scrub. You know, we just had to find for a weight. I mean, this is a co-leader, good player, right? Like makes bases.
They had a Town Hall 9 fresh hit, 96% in him. Think about that. A Town Hall 9 96% fresh hit, a near max 10, perfect walk, a perfect deployment.
And I want to make the point. I just want to make this point fucking crystal clear that yeah, it's 100% possible. Like that, we're not debating that. But in your head, there's some sort of little fucking radar that goes on and says, "What?" Like,
that's what we're talking about. Like, we're not saying like, oh, they're modding, but
it was or it wasn't.
It's stuff like that. It's like that makes you look at everything else, and that makes everything else blow up in perspective.
So okay. So we're all on the same page. So we get through the Town Hall 9 phase. They fucking crushed it. Like, I won't deny it. Like, they were like 90 fucking percent hit rate. It was ridiculous.
They missed one Town Hall 9, I think.
It was ridiculous. Like, just ridiculous. And they're obviously not modding Town Hall 9. So let's get that out of the way. They crushed it. We gotta give them props for at least some crazy fucking attacks. I'll just say that. But like we said, we all of a sudden, you know, the clans sort of like, we're already demoralized because of just how shit kicked we got, and there's things that are just like making you be like, what? Like, just start questioning things. So then Robos, who's not even in the war and doesn't have to worry about attacks, or the guy who's setting up the rosters, feels this way as well. So what does he do? He pops open the rosters. And immediately, it's obvious, as I was saying this on the Rig Show, 8 of their players weren't even on their master roster. Like, that's just obvious. Like, you pop that, especially when you're the guy like Robaz, the tattletale fucking snitch of 2.0. I hope you're watching, Robaz. But for when he just set up the rosters, he's been staring at the Crumble roster for a week now, right? So obviously for him, it's just super like, what? Who's this guy, right? I've just been staring at this group of 50 people, and this fag wasn't on. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. This guy wasn't on there. Whatever. This guy wasn't on there, right? It's just obvious. So immediately, boom, we knew there was something up. Robaz, all he did was report to the admins that there was multiple people that were not on their main roster, and then the admins took it away from there. I don't know. I think, JP, I know you're not in Elder chat, but Pitt, I know you are. Well, obviously, there was extensive discussion about what potentially was going to happen before it actually happened.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
how do you think you got an invite to the Buy Forever show so fast?
Yeah, that's right. So then we got this. I don't know if you guys have this quote, but I'm going to flip over to the quote when the announcement came out from Ares. Oops, God, I got to get better at doing that. And that. So this came out from Ares, the announcement in DC. So I'm just going to read it out. Crumble in their war against OneHive 2.0 had numerous penalty points given. A large percentage of their roster included inaccurate weights, both on the war roster and the master roster. 8 members on their war roster were not MCWL rostered members, meaning they weren't even registered members in the MCWL period. Several members have visited active mixed or mod clans, a few of which been in the last few days. So this was actually February 4th that this announcement came out. So since these 13 points were accrued during their war against OneHive 2.0, we believe it was not a fair war, and they will be forced to forfeit. OneHive 2.0 will remain in the playoffs and move on to the next round.
You can't get any more straightforward than that. And if you guys are not inside the DC chat for CWL, people were pretty mixed about it. There were people going off about 2.0 being snitches and all this kind of stuff. So I think that it's very important for us to state, we cannot overstate that we got our asses handed to us, and that even if they were playing fair, like they would have won. But that's not the point, though.
All I gotta say is all we did was look at the roster for a brief moment. after the war was started, and it was just blatantly obvious. It's not like we were comparing Town Hall 9 weights and bitching about having a 67K instead of a 69K. Like, go fuck yourself. 8 players not even registered in the fucking MCWL. I'm sorry. That's just unacceptable.
And the going back and forth to the mod clans, like, I mean, that's explainable. You know, you can say like, oh, they have friends there or
That's
whatnot.
the cherry
But
on top.
that's the cherry. That's the okay. With everything else, it's over. You know.
So I don't know about you guys, but it just didn't feel. I woke up. I was on night shift, so I slept during the day. And when I wake up, I probably had 1,200 line notifications of stuff blowing up, letting us know that we basically advanced. But it didn't feel the same to me. I mean, yeah, I'm excited we get a chance to play Golden Goblins, but
No.
you don't want to advance that way.
We did not want to advance that way, and we knew, when we put up the 84-star victory against Kronos, we were like, 84 stars is not going to advance us into the semifinals, and we put up 80, like, disgusting, just fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
We were not happy with that war. I shit the bed, man. I was just talking about this going into week 8. I was at 77% hit rate. And then I failed both my attacks in week 8, and I failed both my attacks in the quarterfinal. And I don't know, it happens, and I'm on a slump right now.
But with all that being said, though, I mean, that's not how we wanted to advance. I think that the clan is getting ready for Golden Goblins. I think that everyone is getting really pumped up for this weekend.
We have beat Golden Goblins before,
and we had a town hall disadvantage.
I'm sorry. Any given Sunday, it's just as long as the only factors involved are human error. That's what Clash of Clans is. It's manipulation of artificial AI and coming down to your human error of trying to manipulate it. And as long as that's what it comes down to, then I think any side has a chance, right?
Absolutely.
Do you guys agree with the decision by the CW? What do you guys feel about how they handled this situation compared to something like Garst and War Whales in their situation?
I don't think they had a choice.
I completely agree. I mean, if you I heard bits and pieces of you being on the rig show, so
we're gonna ask you about that here in a second too.
You can't there's certain things you just can't let slide, because if you're planning on CWL lasting for multiple seasons, multiple hundreds, thousands of clans applying to this, you got to set the precedent early in season 1 and season 2 that these things just aren't gonna slide.
And that's why personally I was a little upset about the way the War Whales and Garsk situation was handled. Just because, I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not on the admin team, but to me, it just felt like, I don't know. It just felt like it was sort of pushed a little bit aside. Yeah, Garst did get banned from the CWL. However,
didn't they have a second scandal as well, Warwells?
Something, I don't know. I try not to stay.
There's like another episode that Rig had. I mean, he is the Jerry Springer of Clash. So if we're gonna talk about at least scandals, he's gonna have them. But I think that there's another player in a similar situation that.
Let's hear. This is finally maybe a topic that Dr. D can give some perspective on.
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about the other scandal with War Whales, but as far as the issue with Crummel, I mean, rules are rules, right? And I think JP's right that if you don't stick with those rules, the CWL, I mean, it caught fire, and I think it can die just as quickly if people don't have faith in the system that's there. So I think that they did the right thing. I think there's that one little line about are people going to other clans, guys were going to other like known modding clans, and it makes everybody wonder, well, were they actually modding their attacks? And I mean, who knows? I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I've always said that. And fresh hits are I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm fairly naive when it comes to modding stuff anyway. But from what I understand, it's pretty tough to mod a fresh hit. You don't know where anything is. You can't see anything. I don't know how it works. 96% on a max Town Hall 10 though. That sounds pretty crazy.
But there is also something called guilty by association. Right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
I mean,
well, perception's also reality too. I mean, if you're gonna put your clan in a situation where you have accounts going back and forth to known modding clans, I mean, why are you doing that? It's about image at that point.
Well,
you know.
And if we're comparing,
certainly wouldn't fly with
comparing
us.
these two situations, you compare War Whales to Cromwell. Well, War Whales had one guy that was, at least that one account was only tracked to a certain limited amount of clans. That one guy and that account was removed completely, and they moved on. Whereas Cromwell had multiple people visit these clans that were questionable, and just the sole fact that it was one thing after another. One thing I learned actually through going on the Rig show today with Blonde and Rig was Blonde explained that I guess Cromwell has had multiple complaints already filed against them that I didn't know about. Now, again,
Wiser, real fast. I don't want you to lose your point, but what was it that Cromwell kept saying over and over again was the reason that they were kicked out?
Well, that they didn't keep
the war weights
up to date.
Yeah, exactly. So
Which
I mean, let's set the record straight right here. That's not what happened.
Leading statement, because yes, that was part of it, but end of the day, there was 8 people, right? So you look at the whole situation with Cromwell. Well, they've had multiple complaints registered against them, but what I was also going to point out was that Blonde also said they get so many complaints every single day at all 3 different levels about things, and obviously most of them are not true. So you got to give the benefit of the doubt there. But you get all these complaints about them to begin with. Then this happens, and they have 8 players. 8. We're not talking about 1. Okay, Dr. D, I know you were in the Invicta War with OSF, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And you were in the chats for all that fucking drama.
Oh yeah.
And DWS, I love you, but man, the Town Hall 9 war weights don't matter. Town Hall 9 hero levels don't matter. I'm sorry.
No.
25 and up with Lego walls, you're set. But that's what I'm talking about. That it's not like there was some Town Hall 9, some little bit of weight issues. It's not like one guy they forgot to register on their roster. 8 guys. 8. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being crazy, but that's crazy. You're 8-0 going into the playoffs for like this huge, for to be the first ever winners of the mid-league season CWL, and you forget. Let me just clarify that to register 8 of your members going into war that day. I don't know. To me, that just seems either absolutely retarded and they're just dumb, which is not true because I know they're at least smart enough to do what they do. So then that means at least somewhat some of it was intentional for whatever reasons we'll never know.
I honestly don't think that they like intentionally went out and were like, all right, let's mod the F out of this. Let's make sure we win. No. I think that they wanted to push it as far as they thought that they possibly could and get away with it. And I don't mean it in like a, they're just bad people. I think they just really... That's what happens whenever you have something this competitive. That's what happened with TWC way back in the day. That's why we were a little bit weary of joining the CWL in the beginning, because we didn't want everyone to just start modding, to be the best. But I think that they just wanted to push it to the whatever level that they could and get away with it, and they fought the law, and the law won.
I've been thinking a lot about that. I mean, why bring in 8 different guys? They're all great, right? Every one of those guys is good. Why bring in 8 people that aren't even on your roster? And that's the thing that just kind of bothers me about the whole thing, I think. Because, I mean, this is completely speculative, but I don't know how how the Psychic Octopus works, right? As far as tracking clans that are known to have modders in there. But if a guy hops in, he's there for a weekend, he hops back out, and then a different account hops in, and then hops back out. I mean, I don't know. I'm not accusing them of modding or anything, but I'm saying a fourth of your roster, or over a fourth of your roster, winds up being people that aren't even listed on your roster. It just seems weird. Why bring those in?
Dr. D, I haven't even heard of Psychic Octopus like taking out a clan since OneHive Genesis got.
Yeah, I mean, so that's part of the problem, right? It's so rare that you hear anything of it. I mean, hear any of these things happening. That's the last one I heard of as well. OneHive Genesis.
And it's unfortunate, but to be honest, I'm not kidding, guys. There's just weird trends. I'm gonna flip on one more time on over to this sheet that nobody liked. But if you start at week 1, you look at the scores that Cromwell put up. Week 1, Cromwell put up a 79-star win. Let me repeat that. Cromwell put up a 79-star win versus Shadow Ravens. Okay. Week 2, Cromwell put up an 82-star win versus Death Balloons. Week 3, Cromwell put up an 83-star win versus us. Week 4, Cromwell put up an 83-star win versus Dark Avengers. So the first month, the first 4 weeks of CWL, they didn't put up more than 83 stars once. Then week 5, Cromwell puts up 86 stars versus Kronos. Week 6, Cromwell puts up 85 stars versus EE. Week 7, Cromwell puts up 85 stars versus WHF2. And week 8, Cromwell puts up 87 stars versus FM. Again, it doesn't mean shit, but
yeah, it does.
Just another piece.
Let's be honest.
Of the puzzle. Oh, why did that happen?
It's all good. Well, I think that unless you guys have any parting thoughts, I think that we're okay to transition away from this subject.
So just the last couple things. Obviously, I did want to mention another cool thing that's going on, like the CWL, is these tournaments that are going on.
JP,
we got a lot of different teams within our clan families going on right now. JP, of course, decided to sponsor himself using our vodcast name. I don't know. What did you have to do? You seem like you had something to say about it, JP.
No, I mean, there's definitely a lot of excitement about it. It's so cool because the rules are kind of unique where you have to really rethink strategy. It's a 10 versus 10, 2 Town Hall 11s, 4 Town Hall 10s, 4 Town Hall 9s.
Hey, JP.
And, yeah.
Chad Flower in the comments just said, "Speaking of, get your hits in."
I've already got my triples in. I'm good. But what's cool is each person has to hit their equal town hall level at least once, which is a unique twist to it, because you really have to be smart on your town hall 9s, because if you close the town hall 9s and someone hasn't attacked yet, they've got to attack a town hall 9 that's already been tripled. So it's kind of cool. It adds a little twist to it. So yeah, 2.0. I think me and 7 2.0 guys, and I believe 2 Invicta guys have a team.
I'm
not mistaken.
Or Pickle Smoochers? That's fucking.
I was gonna say we have about at least 3 teams represented. 3 to 4 teams represented in this tournament, but that's what's so cool about these friendly wars. CWL is one of them, but this 10 versus 10 tournament, man, to me is it's so fun. The camaraderie you can build with just 9 other friends, and the different rules add some twist to the wars. To me, it's an absolute blast.
Here's some food for thought, guys. Let's think about Clash 1 year ago today. In fact, no, it's February. 1.5 years ago today. Let's think about Clash. They didn't have shit, right? Like right
Town
now,
Hall 11 hadn't come out yet.
no Town Hall 11. There was no sort of friendly challenges. It was like there was nothing, and the way even something that is simple that you don't think about. Remember the search algorithm for War? How bad it used to be.
Jake was still
yeah.
crying about modding.
Jake was crying about modding. Jake was teaching me how to go Valo. Go Valo. But that's one thing. Do you remember how bad the search algorithm was for War? Like, you were lucky to see a good War in a random search, like, once in a blue moon. Where nowadays, between friendly challenges and these tournaments, the one in a blue moon War
We just had
random
a
spin, it's like
we
War
just
Win.
had a farm war for the first time in months.
Yeah,
I
it's
swear
crazy.
to Christ, we haven't had a farm war in
Every single
several
war is
weeks.
competitive. Like the game.
I can tell you this: I wouldn't still be playing the game if it was still like that. Like, if there wasn't a CWL or these friendly wars, I don't think I'd still be playing personally.
I mean, even
No.
just before Friendly Wars, I mean, just going, the algorithm was not great. I remember seldom was it random Elite Wars, and now it seems like every random spin is an REW. It's nice. I prefer it. So.
All right, so we're getting sort of close. Where are we at here? I think we can probably start wrapping this up. I mean, obviously, just our outlook. We got a huge matchup coming this weekend for 2.0. We're gearing up. We're gonna give Golden Goblins everything we fucking got. If we could make the finals, that would be unbelievable. Can you imagine if we got in the way we did and then come out and beat Golden Goblins? Like that would be
Cinderella story.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So obviously that's our goal, but we know we need to toughen up. 80 stars is not going to do the trick.
It's unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Even 84 stars. I think we got to be putting up 87 to even dream of being a part of that war. So I guess we'll see on that. Other than that, guys, just please, make sure you subscribe. Like it, at OneHive Clan on Twitter. Obviously, OneHive Labs on here on YouTube. Anything else you gentlemen want to add here?
I was gonna tease a couple of our. We've got some guests coming up on some of the future podcasts.
We also, as well, real quick. We do have to do our Twitter answer question because I know my man Victory, my biggest fan. Victory is fucking awesome. I love Victory. He brought up a couple good points. One, no. To answer your question, he asked, we will not be doing it this late. The only reason we did it this late is because of the Rigoletto show and it delayed things massively. We wanted to start this at like 8:30 to be running for about 9 o'clock Eastern is what we're going to aim for. The day of the week is going to be tentatively Mondays, but either sometime between Sundays and Tuesdays, whatever works for the best for all of us. Was there anything else? Any other questions?
Victory also brought up the question. He wanted to know if I am actually in my bathroom right now.
It does look like a bathroom shower.
In your bathtub.
That is
It
awesome.
kind of does.
He is in his bathtub.
I am in.
Oh, another thing Victory brought up. Victory's like the man of questions here. Also, we will look at maybe bringing people in, like taking some phone calls mid session. We wanted to keep this one as simple as possible, just so it didn't look like shit, to be honest. So hopefully we did a pretty good job. Anything else that was out there?
Yeah, Z-Bear, well, two things. Z-Bear had a question about what's the number of times Hood has threatened to kick him and he's too scared to kick him out of the clan. And secondly, just give you guys a heads up. So a couple of the people we've got coming up, we've got Snip. Everyone knows Snip. He's agreed to come on the show, so we're going to try to get him on the next show. And also Chris and Lisa Rice. Some of my personal friends, really love those people. They've agreed to come on. We've got several guests lined up going forward. So this will be this won't be a one-time thing. We're going to be
After
doing
today,
this a lot
I'm
going forward.
pretty hopeful that I can probably convince Rigoletto and Blondie to come
Yep.
on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was a pretty good first show, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we will call it a day here, though. So, again, guys, look for this as well. Pit saving this.
here.
The pizza's here. Oh, he's all excited. Pitino, who just left for his pizza, is going to be getting the podcast version for this. Hopefully, Nemo's going to have that uploaded within this year at some point to the website so you can download the podcast version. But obviously, in the meantime, you're going to have the vodcast version on YouTube. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Appreciate the views, but we're going to call it a night. Thank you very much.
See you, fellas.
See ya.
Enjoyed it.